Our topic is bionics and nature's impact on technological innovation, and how mimicry of nature to create energy efficient technology is necessary not only for the preservation of our environment, but the improvement of society. These bionics are defined as features or systems that draw from nature to benefit from the billions of years nature has had to perfect organisms in the environment, and we'll cover many examples of this throughout the presentation. Nature must be viewed not only as a resource, but a system with which to cooperate when designing new technology, as nature's simplistic solutions are frequently the best. Though many today see the relationship between nature and technology as limiting, a deeper look at these systems shows benefits to both areas. The ways in which we interact with nature has become more and more dependent on how we create this new technology. As frequently shown in nature, simplicity nearly always results in the best design solution. Sustainability is often viewed as a design constraint, but there are also numerous benefits that can result from engineering systems that cooperate with the environment. And by designing with the environment in mind, we start to discover more and more possibilities that can advance our current technology. For example, these buildings located in Zimbabwe are designed to mimic termite mounds in that they draw on the building shape to regulate humidity and heat, instead of using more complicated systems like those devised by humans. This is a perfect instance of a system where people drew from their surroundings to solve an engineering problem to benefit not only the environment, but also its inhabitants, because less energy is being used. There are 10 guiding principles to bionic design as well, and many of these reflect the importance of rudimentary solutions. For example, number 2, multifunctionality over monofunctionality, is a trend seen in nature that can only improve the technology we create. This trend obviously improves the capability of various organisms, and applying this to the objects we create can improve our day-to-day interactions with the environment. Another key element of biomimetic sustainable design is that we draw from sources like wind and solar power for energy, like some organisms already do in things such as photosynthesis, because they don't have a negative impact on the environment. However, moving to these energy sources also benefits humans, as the systems that use these energy sources are typically more direct uses of the energy that's available.
Now, take a step back. Think about this. Why are these nature-inspired methods so effective? Natural selection. You guys probably know how this works. The best, most efficient, and effective techniques or models get selected over time. This results in what we call natural tendencies being highly optimized. In the next few slides, I'll talk about how this is useful in CS. In CS, we have something called swarm intelligence, which is a form of machine learning used in artificial intelligence, where individual pursuits add up to group intelligence. This is inspired from the way a fish works in a school, where individually it's in a lot of danger, but as a school, it's very effective. A common optimization technique uses ant colony optimization, where the algorithms mimic the way ants find food. The most efficient path to food is reinforced and creates a positive feedback loop, while the ones that aren't as efficient don't end up in the end. And your evolutionary algorithm is another type of algorithm used in CS, where you start off with a population of several algorithms that are selected, crossover, mutated, and evaluated, until you end up with the best algorithm over several generations. This way you use nature to select the best. Now, it's not just efficiency that makes biomimetics so useful in engineering. Sustainability is another result of getting inspiration from nature. Engineering at the moment relies heavily on energy, and it's not possible to be sustainable and satisfy a large demand at a reasonable price. But could biomimetics help? It's possible that the Earth is the closest we can get to a sustainable paradigm. That's why it's useful to use biomimetics. An example of this is the dye-sensitized polymer-based solar cells used by various industries. These aren't as efficient as photovoltaics, but they're significantly cheaper and far more sustainable.
Sustainability and cooperation with nature is not only beneficial in that nature is a support system for human life, but also in that it imparts innovation accumulated through several years of trial and error to the process of evolution. Inspiration derived from nature so far has favorably suited our needs and has enabled us to have minimal impact on the environment. Here are a few instances of technological innovations inspired by nature. Streamlining, which refers to using a design or form that presents very little resistance to a fluid, is a basic concept that we have adopted from bird flight and which has greatly improved speed efficiency in airplanes and bullet trains. The Shinkansen, which is a Japanese bullet train, has drawn inspiration from the kingfisher bird to save massive amounts of fuel. The kingfisher's long pointed beak greatly reduces the surface area of contact on which resistive forces to flight, like air drag and friction, act upon, and this helps the bird use minimal force to propel forward. The train's sprint mimics the kingfisher's long beak and helps it use 15% less electricity while traveling 10% faster at over 300 kilometers per hour. Another example of efficiency derived from natural structures is the innovation of wheel wind turbines based on the humpback whale. This creature weighs an astonishing 36 tons, and yet it is one of the most elegant swimmers, divers, and jumpers in the sea. These aerodynamic abilities were attributed mainly to the bumpy protrusions on the front of its fins called tubercles, as found out by biomechanic Primefish in 2008. The science behind this principle is a little complex, but it proved to be highly efficient in the wind turbine technology based on this idea, called tubercle technology. The protrusions greatly reduce the energy required to move the turbine, as well as the noise generated by the movement of the blades through air. Energy efficiency derived from nature has also altered modern lighting technology. The science behind fireflies' natural lighting was associated with structural patterns that were mimicked in LED bulbs. According to an extensive research performed on this process in 2013, when fireflies light fires in their bellies, the radiance is amplified by their anatomy of sharp, jagged scales. These form a kind of casing for the firefly that causes reflection and diffraction in angles that can greatly increase the intensity of light emitted. Based on this observation, the scientists then built and laid a similar structure on a light-emitting diode, otherwise known as LED, which increased its brightness by nearly 55%.
So far, we've seen what biomimetics is, why we use it, and how we use it. By mimicking nature, we preserve resources like time and labor that could otherwise be wasted over trying to find original methods of technological design, which could still be less efficient than the natural processes perfected by years of evolution. This way, we develop logical, simplistic designs that are sustainable and eco-friendly.